It's the 63rd time that Notre Dame and Kentucky have faced each other. They'll do so today at Rupp Arena. It's the first time since 2015, and oddly, both teams find themselves in the early going under the 500 mark. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Bill Raftery. Happy to be with you today. We've got the old in Notre Dame and the young in Kentucky this afternoon.
Both teams trying to find themselves, and I could certainly relate to that. Of course, individual play at Kentucky, trying to form teamwork, and, of course, the patience of ND.
All right, so speaking of Kentucky, Coach Cal had Cal's camp all week long. It'll continue next week. Some of the reasons why is because they've turned the ball over so much.
We're both glad we weren't part of that. The ability to run the floor is so important, but his concern has been turnovers, individual play, not being tough enough, and that's something that we're going to have to exhibit today against the Irish.
Well, we do know that Kentucky usually has pivotal freshmen. They have two really good ones in Clarke and Boston.
Yeah, we may see Clarke at the point. Of course, Boston, one of those guys, both of them can do so many things off the bounce. Shooting the three becomes very important for them, and the understanding of getting in the lane, finishing, who can do it like Boston, send it in.
Yeah, he has been pivotal for them so far. All right, for Notre Dame, they only go 7 or 8 deep, so they've got to be patient offensively.
Well, of course, Prentice Sub, their leader, they've given him the keys. We know it's not an NCAA violation, of course, but the ability off the bounce is so important. He gets in the lane. The patience of the offense, the ball always comes back to him to make decisions like this around the rim. Durham able to finish. The ability to bounce and pull up, to get separation, and get those puppies organized big time. They're going to need him this afternoon.
He has been a scorer. All right, it's time now for AT&T 5G Fast Analysis.
Really the understanding of good basketball movement, spreading the floor, their ability to shoot the three. They high five, replace, dribble, drive, find people here. Ryan did Stanford grad, the ability to stretch the D with some nylon on the other end. They're really understanding defensively. If containing your own becomes important, the ability to shot blocks, they're going to have to play quicker. Shot blocking lends that opportunity in the open floor for Kentucky.
Well, this is a game that should be played every single year. Today is the first of a 3-year contract between Notre Dame and Kentucky. We're excited to have the tip coming up next. Around college basketball and around the world of sports, a lot of cutouts in Kentucky, but also 3,000 fans. Mike Brey likes that he's coming into a cavernous arena where there are some fans, his 21st season as the head coach of Notre Dame. He said he's fine going 7 or 8 deep, so let's take a look at the starting lineups. I guess the biggest thing is Mintz, the transfer from Creighton, does start for Kentucky as they try to find somebody to run the offense. Terrence Clarke also will run the points.
I think the point will be by committee. You'll see different guys out there. Of course, Cal a little bit frustrated in their inability to be tough, and that's the one thing he has stressed from the get-go.
Yeah, he said he went a little old school this week with Camp Cal, his 12th season as the Kentucky head coach. SEC Coach of the Year last season. Well, we mentioned it's the first time that these two teams have faced off since 2015. They're going to see each other in the regular season 2 more times in the next couple of years. Kentucky leads the all-time series 43-19. Last meeting was the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, a pretty good one. The last time they two met. The one thing that jumped out at me, and I think the ball rack with the 8 balls.
Yes.
If you turn it over the 8th time, of course, all of a sudden you got a couple of more, and you're going to run the floor, wind sprints. So a little toughness at Camp Cal early.
And he said it's going to carry over even after this ball game. Juwan Durham's going to jump center against Isaiah Jackson, the freshman for Kentucky. Notre Dame, of course, in the road blues. Kentucky in the home whites. And here we go. Kentucky and Notre Dame. We're underway. Kentucky controls the tip.
And thank you, Mike Brey. ND goes a little bit in. Tom McCarthy.
And we may see a lot of zone today from
I think
Notre
you're
Dame.
right. I think he'll wait a little bit, be patient with it. I think a little shove inside, I believe by Durham early here. And I'm thinking they've got to go to Sarr. Olivier, a very talented kid, can do some damage. And not even just a little cross screen, but a little discard, not being in the right position. They need Durham on the floor.
Yeah, in fact, the last game against Ohio State, he fouled out with more than 7 minutes left to play in that game, and the boards for Ohio State certainly affected it.
And there's your zone. He should be a coach, Tom. Nice little inside look for the big fella. Wake Forest transfer. Has a great feel for the game.
Asked John Calipari yesterday if the transfers need to have more of an impact on getting this young team up to speed? He said yes. He said, but it's still going to take time because the young players don't really know the older players.
Quick jab. He can take it. He's got the license to take him, obviously. That middle of the zone, which you saw before, right there, wide open. And was tempting him to get that shot.
Boy, that's a good sign for Kentucky that Sarr has back-to-back buckets.
We talked about the patience of Notre Dame, but Kentucky's going to have to be patient defensively. It's played long into the shot clock.
Here's Goodwin with the ball out front, gives it off to Ryan. Both of those guys have improved over the last year. Ryan, pull-up jumper from 17, no good. Back-to-back misses now for Notre Dame. And the alley-oop, and a little too much oop on the alley.
A little bit more air under that basketball, but Sarr, one of those kids who's got a good feel. Nice ball fake, freezes Durham, a little nylon from that 15-foot mark. Unerring by the big fella.
Hey, Bill, that pass by Clarke, is that what John Calipari was telling us, that it's the home run pass that they don't need?
Exactly. Just make the sound, basic, fundamental pass, but their skill level's been extraordinary in high school. Now they've got to play like a team and a unit.
Krzyzewski out front, spinning into the paint. That's a big step and a nice friendly roll.
And they know he can shoot it, so that sets up that dribble drive.
Averaged 7.4 last year, averaging 15 this season for the Irish.
A little back to man after giving up those easy goals. A lot of post screens, ball screens, dives to the rim, lock low.
Boston called for the traveling violation, so second turnover now for Kentucky.
Leshevsky, one of those kids, he's bulked up, he's a lot stronger, playing with a lot of confidence. Typical of Mike Bray, the improvement between second and third year for these players. Little drop step finish by the big fella.
17 points, 9 rebounds in the loss to Ohio State, a game in which Notre Dame had an 11-point lead. Leshevsky again, his three is good.
Well, they really do get available. Nice little give, good one with the find.
Little weave offense from Kentucky. Jackson underneath, and his shot is partially blocked, and he's going to go to the free throw line for 2.
Yeah, nice play by Mintz, though. Looking for leadership, guy that's been down the road, great career at Creighton, injured a little bit last year. It was a nice little easy bounce pass to get the vision on it.
So Isaiah Jackson to the free throw line, just 56% in the early going. John Calipari said that Jackson has shown him more than he anticipated so far in this his freshman year. He's got an awful lot of talent.
He runs the floor beautifully. One thing about his block shot ability, he could use both hands.
Second free throw, no good. A little hard off the back of the iron. Ryan with the rebound. So 5-5 just underway from Rupp Arena.
They really uses both sides of the floor. The ability to stretch at these sets up drives, though.
Baseline move, pass up top. That's a tough one. Ryan, shot is off the mark. He's missed a couple so far. And it's going to remain Notre Dame basketball.
He's had good looks, too. A little tight early. Nice little get, because Mike Bray over the years has brought some transfers in. Some guys who've contributed, Scott Martin, Ben Hansbrough, Danny Miller come to mind.
It's a pretty nice combination, too, with the 3 juniors that he said he threw into the fire last year and kind of evolved as the season went on.
He may be the most relaxed major college coach that either one of us has ever been. It's a great way with his team, Durham deep. Woo.
He gets that one to go.
That's opened up some drives from the wings as well.
All right, so it's a 7-1 run for Notre Dame after the early lead for Kentucky. Boston for 3, no good.
They had 3 threes against Georgia Tech, started shooting a little bit better.
Leshevsky to the basket, he's bumped to the ground.
Once again, that outside shot sets up his ability to drive.
All right, we talked about the fact that Notre Dame does not go deep to their bench. They have 2 freshmen that come off their bench, so that means that these guys have to play a lot. I mean, you have 4 players that are averaging 35 minutes or more.
But the speed of the game, both of us could play a little bit. No, let's not go too far. But they will
take
play.
Us a couple days.
That's true. We will be out a week after we play. But look at the size of this kid from last year. Imposing.
Substitution, there's Askew, who started originally for Kentucky, coming off the bench, and Boston taking a seat.
I think this is going to help him, don't you? Askew, not the pressure of running the show, coming in relaxed, getting a feel for the game.
He was considered the #1 point guard in the class of 2021, and he reclassified to come in this season.
As a youngster, no question about it. You mentioned to me off air, just turning 18.
Yeah.
You were just getting your driver's license.
That was a long time ago.
This is their favorite set, little pin down.
Sarr kicks it back out to Mintz.
Mintz is a great pure shooter.
Step back jumper is good. That is a nice set by the Wildcats.
Very patient on that end of the floor. Mike disdained the use of the 2-3. That's a save for him. He will bring that back later, I'm sure.
Yeah, he said that if he goes into it, he said, you might see me play it 33 minutes of the 40 minutes of the game.
Double screen on the other side, ball screen on one.
Jackson called for the personal foul. Notre Dame with a 2-point lead. That's one of the 3,000 on hand today. Notre Dame on top 9-7, 15:49 to play here in the first half. And everywhere you go when it comes to sports, in the college level, you talk about the protocol for NCAA basketball, testing 3 times per week. Notre Dame tested before they got on the plane yesterday to go to Lexington. 14-day quarantine for the entire team after 1 positive case. Bill, we've seen that all over college basketball.
This prevention is so important, and yet some unusual things have happened. And when you consider Kentucky, it's a little bit different with all freshmen, or majority of freshmen, and the herky-jerkiness of practice. It's just a different atmosphere.
Coach Calipari talked to us about this yesterday. He said, normally guys would be together all the time. He said they'd be at my house, when they didn't have things going on. So we got to know each other a little bit. All they know me as really is coach. They don't know me with any other perspective.
See, his wife could cook, so in my case, we seldom have players at our house. A kiss by Dane Goodwin. A little post-up. Mike mentioned to us yesterday, he's a forward, really. He's trying to get him to think more like a guard. And this post-up took advantage.
Goodwin's another one of those guys improving from last year to this year. 6th man the last 2 years. There's Mintz cutting into the paint. Little jump stop. 3-pointer no good. You heard short right away when the ball left the hands.
On Sarr, I'd love to see them repost him. Give it to him, but it's not good. Again, Shevsky with a great look. Don't give him that many opportunities. Let's see if they use Sarr a little bit again. Threw him with the 1 early foul. Why not?
Yeah, they went off the double screen. He was open up top, and the pass, was to nobody. It was cut off by Notre Dame. So it's 3 turnovers quickly for Kentucky in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Biggest thing for Notre Dame are preventing runouts. And that starts with good shot selection. Here's that replace.
Goodwin for 3. It's good.
And nobody outside covering. Khaled mentioned the urgency. That was an urgency right there in terms of coverage. No communication, and that's what he's looking for. Somebody to step up in a leadership role.
How about that run? 14-3 for the Irish, 7 points for Goodwin. There's Sarr inside. Turnaround jumper is good. He got 6.
Nice find. Once again, being available. Sarr.
Olivier Sarr, transfer from Wake Forest. Some people thought that he had an opportunity to be the SEC Player of the Year as the season moved on.
Very talented kid. And right now they can play hubs off the ball, little pin down. Here he comes on the left.
And Ryan connects. Back-to-back 3s for Notre Dame.
That is why they're tough coverage. You've got to go out 24, 25 feet and challenge the shot, close out.
How about this start, though, without Hub having a bucket for Notre Dame?
Now these kids are confident. Nice pop.
Sarr into the paint. He might have traveled a little too far to get to the rim. 3-pointer for Fletcher, no good. Rebound underneath by the Wildcats.
Reset at 20. Nice cross.
Askew for 3. Oh, this is one of the issues, too, for Kentucky. 3-point shooting has not been very good.
That is a major difficulty, shortcoming.
They're at 26% for the season.
I mentioned Fletcher on the floor. He really plays hard. Pretty good defense. Once again, the spread using post bumps. cross court using the floor.
Krzyzewski for three, and it's off the front of the rim. Good, and a timeout called by Kentucky. It's an 11-point lead for Notre Dame. Coach Cal, he's getting grayer by the minute.
Now. Who's got the anvil?
Well, Notre Dame has been one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country. They're showing it today.
I'll tell you, when you're wide open, you can step into a jumper like that. Here's a simple ball screen. You don't go over the top. They spread you. There's 4 spots on the floor that make threes, and you throw Durham in the low post. They're older, they're wiser, they're confident, and they're not in a hurry versus youthful exuberance, maybe not the same kind of concepts philosophically as a team, and that certainly has hurt and rushed Kentucky to that quick timeout.
Now here's Terrence Clarke running the point, 6'7".
Of course, Cal did this at Memphis with Tyreek Evans. And they got an offensive foul on Sarr's little movement on the screen. Not good after a timeout. You could tell listening to Cal yesterday, you know, it is really difficult. He's going to have to be patient. He knows it. You know, tough call against Sarr there.
That's his first personal foul. Cal said, I just want the game to look different so we can all look and say, wow, we're going to be all right.
Well, he said wow during that timeout with a couple of superlatives, I'm sure.
Jogo in the game for the first time, and another three-pointer for the Irish. That's 5 threes in this first half.
And again, inside out, the ability to drill them. Hub on the scoreboard.
Another run. It's a 9-0 run for the Irish. Hub with the steal. And Hub heading to the basket, gets the bucket to go down in traffic.
How about that adjustment at the rim? Poise.
25-9.
Sarr's got the angle, and they settle for the jumper.
That's now 0 for 5, Bill, from beyond the arc. This is what you talked about, maybe getting the ball inside a little bit more.
Oh, absolutely. Get something going to the rim. Don't settle for jump shots. Nice high-low. Pretty.
Off the ground, Krzyzewski is able to go to the free throw line for a three-point play.
How about that high-low? Got Cormac Ryan at the top, but the ability of the open floor, play the passing lane, experience, a little adjustment. Woo! A little kiss for the Irish.
Can't be at home to watch the Army-Navy game presented by USAA on CBS? Well, visit CBSSports.com or download the CBS Sports app on your phone or tablet to stream the game live. Tune in today at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. First time since 1943 that the Army-Navy game will be played at West Point.
And who won at 43? I know you covered it.
Boy, that's a really good question. I'll go back and give you the research on that one. How about the threes for Notre Dame?
I think Navy won it, by the way. Good win. They do a great job of finding space, the ability, 1 or 2 pull-ups, inside out, off a steal, just sound, basic basketball. Never in a hurry, but quick enough.
We'll get a free throw off this timeout by Krzyzewski. So some of the numbers, and it's what Cal told us he was concerned about. 3-point shooting, Kentucky is 0 for 5, and 5 of 7 for Notre Dame for beyond the arc.
He was saying not a team yet, and they're really not at the point. They're talented, but not efficient. You go to the rim to get to the foul line, or you get a touch on the box. Play some inside-out basketball.
How about Krzyzewski, what he's done, 13 points in this first half. 5 turnovers for Kentucky. Three-pointer up top by Mintz is no good, and it's now 0 for 6.
Yeah, that deep shot's going to get you in the refrigerator quickly.
So Notre Dame, you see the comparison, it's pretty even between their 2-point field goal percentage and 3-point field goal percentage, although the ranking is not pretty even.
Well, this guy's just so relaxed with his players, builds confidence in them. And he's gone old. He's one of the early guys that has gone old, which is why I'm very fond of him.
He was pretty candid yesterday, because he's heard so much about his team not going deep off the bench. And he said, I like it this way. So guys get a chance to know each other. They know where each other is on the floor at all times. And that'll be an offensive foul on Durham. If it is, that's his second.
Yeah, that hurts them. Good defensive player. Got the ability around the rim, turnaround jumpers, little baby hook. A keeper. He was at the Mathis, a kid. Learning to trade. Here's with Mike Krzyzewski. He taught Jay Billis everything Billis knows about basketball, too, when they were assistants together.
Nearly halfway done with this first half.
Post rub. Got to get in the lane.
Shot clock under 10. There was plenty of time. Another three off the mark for the Wildcats.
Yeah, look at Mike putting the hand up. Stop. Slow. This is where you become impatient defensively. Get back in it slowly if you're Kentucky. Just be solid on this end. One and done. Challenge the shots.
We got the freshman Lance Ware, 55 in the game now for the Wildcats. Shot clock to 7. Hub has the keys. Finds Jogo for 3. Good. Everybody's making threes.
And that's what Mike said. If he gets healthy, that gives him another body. Gets to 8.
This is a 17-0 run for the Irish.
Again, faulty shot selection.
Jacob Toppin, 0 in the game for the Wildcats.
There you go.
And a carry called against Boston, so that'll be the 6th turnover for Kentucky.
He had the right idea, though. You've got to attack. Just can't take deep shots. Just a nice, easy feel and flow. They are in the right location where everybody is. A welcome addition.
Jogo's been out with a bad ankle, so the fact that he's able to play means that Tony Sanders and Matt Zona may not play as much. Although Zona's in the game now, he's setting the screen up top.
He's a rebounder, defender, and screener, as you can see here.
Sets it for Hub. Pull-up jumper, rattles it home.
Well, they get whatever they want.
33-9 with 9:15 to play.
This is a shock. Would you agree?
It was definitely a shock.
Go.
There's some athleticism. Terrence Clarke to the baseline.
Yeah, 8-foot shot versus a 22. They shorten the game Notre Dame too. Get you itchy.
That's part of the reason why he said he doesn't mind going 7 or 8 deep.
Overload one side with the steps there.
Well, that's the first turnover for the Irish.
Last year they were second in turnovers at 9.8. You can see how Notre Dame values the basketball. Attack. You got one going to the rim or get a touch in the blue.
Sarr sets the high screen. Toppin tried to get his man off his feet. Shot clock down to 7. Good extra pass. Boston for 3. No good. And Sarr knocks it out of bounds for Kentucky.
Yeah, Notre Dame's defense excellent too. They know be solid, force into tough shots, late in the shot clock if you can. But the game goes quickly when you're working a Notre Dame game.
Kentucky 0 for 8 from beyond the arc. They were 0 for 10 in that loss to Richmond. There's a steal. Easy basket for Boston.
And this sets up their pressure. I would extend the floor now if you're Kentucky. You got to get a little juice going.
And a foul in the backcourt called against Askew. 7:51 to play here in the first half.
Getting some offense from all over. Great looks, great opportunities, a little chest bump. Ooh, that hurts for Krzyzewski. And so it's a little painful for the Coach Cal.
Officially, the number is 3,075 that are on hand at Rupp Arena for this afternoon's ball game. Notre Dame up 33-13. And Bill, they are lights out from beyond the arc. 6 of 8.
Unbelievable opportunities in the stretch your D. You can't double and leave Goodwin and others wide open. There's a plethora of strokers from deep, and that opens up a lot of things. Jogo here, and you mentioned his injury back gives them a little more depth. They're patient, they understand the game, they're willing passers. And the other end, some sort of uncomfortable feeling watching this Kentucky team. They're not relaxed, they're not playing their game. As you noted to me during the commercial, they scored, set up the press, and they give up a foul. Like, just play your game.
Well, they'll go man-to-man, they'll defend the inbound here.
Yeah, dead ball situation enables them. Very tough to get weak side help against Notre Dame.
Yeah, at least today they're passing extremely well when they're doubled up. Off the high screen by Zona. Hub, 18-footer, off the front of the rim. He feathered it beautifully.
It's just action and no reaction.
This is now the
18-footer.
largest deficit, Bill, for Kentucky this year. 7:15 to play in the first half. Still cold from the outside. That would have been a 2, but right on the line.
Well, I like that elbow action that they run. A lot of times they'll overload and let Sarr get it and attack, particularly left to right.
It's Goodwin with a little hesitation and didn't get the angle. Zona,
Steps.
though, underneath. It looked like he did shuffle, and he gets the putback.
That's his job. Guard, screen, hit the offensive glass. And one thing they're very good at, too, is rebounding and kicking out. Sarr's got his guy buried, and when that's enabled that to happen. Pretty good drive by Brandon Boston.
Yeah, Boston's got a couple of dunks in this first half. Not too much else, though, for Kentucky.
No fluidity.
Ryan thought about a catch and shoot. Instead, leaves it for Zona underneath. Little jump stop, and doesn't get off the glass, but he's fouled, so he'll get 2.
Really a nice job by quarterback Ryan, drawing the attention of 2, the patience to deliver. Zona not in the right zone to finish the deal.
All 7 players for Notre Dame have scored in this game. And 2 shots for Matt Zona, 1 for 2 so far this year. A freshman at a Bergen Catholic High School in North Jersey. Tomorrow at noon Eastern over on CBS Sports Network, we have more college hoops action with a non-conference matchup between the Rhode Island Rams and Western Kentucky. Catch it all on CBS Sports Network.
You see a great one in Charles Bassey, too. That's a great story from whence he came to where he is now. Watch Zona at the end of this year and next year, the growth. That's what they do at ND. Give you opportunities, feed you a little time, help you grow.
He's listed at 6'9". I think he might even get taller as the years move on.
There you go, get it in.
And Sarr able to slam it home.
Now get up on your guy.
8 points for Olivier Sarr.
Really can't create turnovers. Everybody really good with the catch and shoot. Nobody on them.
Boston leading the break.
Even that pass, it's not into the shooting area. Steps.
Tough shot for Boston, partially blocked by Leschewski. And a battle underneath. Mintz has it kicked away, and that'll be
on Hubs, I think.
I think it might be.
He's looking for a kick ball. He may have been right. That was a little more competitive, didn't you think?
Yes.
At least by Kentucky. Get in there, mix it up, compete. Show how hungry you are. This is the toughness that they've been looking for.
Talked to Cal yesterday, and he said it time and time again. He said that there were a number of priorities that he had with Camp Cal this week. He said toughness was one of the biggest ones.
Getting them together was another aspect of that Camp Cal. And he was saying these kids have a lot at stake, like the responsibility. They think they're all going to the NBA.
Shot clock down to 5. Clarke, little shoulder hesitation. Pull-up jumper, pretty shot.
That's much better. Staying home on the D now. Communicate.
One of the McDonald's All-Americas who committed to Kentucky. Goodwin, an offensive foul called on Dane Goodwin.
Much better because they were at the attack there. Guarding their guy, moving their feet. Goodwin does have some toughness too, just a little bit out of control. Terrific read, being in the right spot. Sarr, need him at the other end as well.
under 5 left to play here in the first half. A half that has belonged to Notre Dame, but Kentucky showing a little bit of life these last couple of minutes.
A little 1-3-1 now, a little wrinkle they've been using of late. He's a great shooter, Mintz. And you're going to get that corner jumper, too.
0 for 9 from beyond the arc. That's the difference of the game.
No.
Goodwin right to the basket. He'll draw the contact.
Yeah, he's not afraid. Even though he charged before, the intelligence to avoid with a little slip by. And there's some pretty impressive numbers. 15 off of turnovers, jumps right out, doesn't it?
It does. AT&T 5G first half stats.
First the three-point field goals you mentioned earlier.
Goodwin at the line for 2.
All right, so here is Dane Goodwin. His dad, Damon, the head coach at Division III Capital University. Talked to him yesterday. I said, were you better or is Dane better? He said, well, he's way better. More athletic.
I didn't get a chance to find out from Donaher because he played for him at Dayton,
He
right?
did.
Very humble of the day. But I love this kid's attitude. He's a gamer. Got a really nice game to be a small forward, shooting guard. It's toughness about him and a good rebounder.
Had the opportunity to grow up with his dad being the head coach of a college basketball team, so he's in the gym all the time. That's Clarke dribbling it off his leg.
They're going to stay right there, I think.
I think Sanders hit it.
I think they're saying that it's right there.
Was Leshevsky or Sanders?
Yeah. Nice little help. Back to that 2-3 zone.
Bank shots.
Maybe that'll raise the hopes. A little kiss by Clarke.
That is the first three-pointer of the day for Kentucky, and it comes off the bank.
Look how far you have to. Nice defense here. Pretty good job by Mintz. When things aren't going well, you need some help from above. A little kiss. Maybe callous smile on that. Get them organized a little. Toughen up on the defensive end now if you want to get back in it. I had a coach against him when he was at Harvard.
Do you remember coaching against him?
I do. Well, some days I don't because shot of Mike Bray. What's interesting to both of us, he talked about live hard practice, 10 minutes, because he likes his players fresh and they're not deep. Conversely, Cal has so much to do with young teams. I absolutely don't understand how he does it each and every year. It's such a difficult task to get them organized to think about team, one another, and not self.
And now he's got 3-a-days going with Cal.
Right.
Where some of it is just free throws and film.
Or weightlifting.
Yeah. Leshevsky has 15 after making those back-to-back free throws.
There's that 1-3-1 again. It's going to force a corner jumper unless you get to the elbow and find. See, this takes away individual ability in so many cases, and that is a problem.
Yeah, Boston was trying to do two things at once and lost control of the basketball.
Well, against man-to-man, you're able to use your God-given talents. Zone is more ball movement, replacement, spotting up, cutting properly,
and that's
ball
been
movement.
That's been one of the messages that Calipari's been trying to put forth, is that extra pass. Top into Mintz.
And you notice very few people go to the glass for Notre Dame, so they're always in balance.
Boston, tough shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
Got away with that one. He does get in the lane. Had a double-double against Richmond. This is really a nice player. Just finding their comfort zone is so important.
Ranked number 5 nationally coming into Kentucky. Another one of the McDonald's All-Americas.
You can see how young he was there. Catch it?
It's amazing.
It's a baby face to be that talented at that age.
You like the comparison that some folks have to Brandon Ingram?
Yeah, a little bit. Slight body and all. I'm not so sure he shaves yet.
You might be right.
You should be doing your homework.
Free throw is good. It's 42-24.
Let's see if they do a little run and jump. Basically, it's a straight up man. That is right up their alley, though. They're going to be patient. They're not going to push the issue. They being Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think there's only 2 forced threes. The one by Jogo a minute ago and another one by Cormac Ryan, who was open when he took his three.
And then Goodwin's charge. Other than that, it's been really solid.
Goodwin trying to draw, top it in, and is still able to get the bucket to go down.
At the shot clock, too. They do a nice job, almost like Villanova, establishing that pivot foot, pirouetting, finding or drilling.
Most first half points for the Irish this year, 44-24. Boston trying to answer, cannot. Jacob Toppin for 3, an air ball. So 2 missed threes, now 1 for 12 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, that's the one thing that if you do miss, you got to chase. You got to do it better, but you got to get good shots so offensive rebounders can be in position to dominate.
2 minutes left in the first half.
We don't have a possession clock, but it would be obviously in Notre Dame's favor. Once again, pretty. Here at the backside, lob to the post.
Coming up on AT&T at the half, Adam Zucker and Clarke Kellogg break down our first half and bring you highlights of other big games. That's all coming up on AT&T at the half.
Cal seems to want one voice. It looks like it's collective voices right now, don't you think?
Yes. And he doesn't know. He said there's guys that say that they want to be the leader, but they just don't know how to do it. And that's part of the teaching.
Well, getting your way in high school and AAU is one thing, but once you get on this next level, Shipsky, you see him there, has built himself up. He had an amazing dunk against Ohio State, so a little more physical.
He's already blown past his season average in this first half. Now 17 points.
Still a 1-3-1. Good try here. Come up empty, but
yeah,
much
not
better.
A bad look. Yep.
Yeah.
You hear Huck call out Zona?
Yeah.
Come set that screen. That's what happens with only 3,000 fans there. Goodwin. No good. And the ball knocked out of bounds. I believe Ryan touched it last, so it'll be Kentucky basketball.
Just getting good opportunities. Notre Dame, the other end, a little bit frustrating. Over the years, watching him in timeouts, tough situations, Mike Bray, just cool, collected, big on the point of attack here. Shevsky might be able to get a lob at some point.
Boston for the free throw line.
There you go.
I think that's that extra pass that Cal talked about. Yep. Boston with 8. Well, under a minute.
You want to get better. This is the edge. You got to get better.
Because it leads to points the other way. And Leshevsky, he is smoking hot. 19 points. That's a season high. Somebody lost their sneaker.
I think they did. What a great ball fake, though, to set up that open look. Just trying to find people who can do the job. Little kick out. Watch this ball. Boom. Freezes ball. The ability to knock that shot down. Clarke obviously reacting to the pass.
Lance Ware's got his shoe on. We've got a timeout. Notre Dame up 48-26. Every year, John Calipari has different teams that he has to deal with. A lot of times he has one and dones. So he says, I've been here before with this kind of situation with such a young team.
Well, you know, those players want to do well. It's just learning how to do it well together. And you just see all the communication skills. I mean, this is a spirited group. I'm sure they work hard. We haven't been able to see practices as we normally would. But this is just a little bit frustrating for them. They've never had this experience.
40 seconds left here in the first half. Again, Leshevsky, the high man on that zone.
Get a good shot and an offensive rebound.
Here's Askew under the basket. Boston for 3. No good. And Leshevsky with the rebound.
Last shot.
And they will run it all the way down.
Oh, they will. This is one of those games where you're happy there aren't any home fans.
That's true.
The adverse reaction, particularly in Kentucky where basketball is king.
Zona for three. It's not his game, but he got a good shot off. And Askew will let it fly, and it is no good. And that is the end of the first half.
What a shock. Surprise. I thought Kentucky had come out raring to go. But old is good right now for ND.
Notre Dame looked fantastic with a season-high 48 points in the first half. Now let's send you to Adam Zucker in New York. Well, back at Rupp Arena as we get set for the start of the second half. It's Notre Dame 48, Kentucky 26, along with Bill Raftery. I'm Tom McCarthy. Happy to be with you. You don't want to downplay what Notre Dame has done because they were exceptional in the first half, but it's shocking that Kentucky only has 26 first half points.
And now you come in with your head down the second half, and you got to portion it off now. 4 minutes. Let's make believe it's nothing. Let's get after it. We're too talented. Got to take good shots. Got to rebound. Got to get the ball inside. Get paint touches.
All right, let's take a look at our Coca-Cola first half statistics. Three-point shooting has been really the big storyline. 6 for 11 for Notre Dame, but more importantly, Kentucky just 1 for 13.
And absolutely great shots that Notre Dame's getting patiently, I might add, and then turnovers. 15 off of turnovers, but how do you play the Irish? They spread you out, so many options in so many spots. You don't communicate, you don't cover. The ability to get a ball screen, go under. All three, Carmack, Ryan, they use the whole floor. Laszewski really doing a wonderful job. In and out, puts the ball on the deck. Joe, go! Why not? Off the injury list. A plus factor in depth for ND.
That could become one of your favorite names to have during the college basketball season.
Joker. Right now, it's all about defense and pride for Kentucky. Be basic, be sound, communicate.
Joe Lindsay whistles the game started in the second half. Notre Dame with the basketball.
Nice and easy, run the double on one side.
Is that going to be a foul on Clarke right away?
Yeah, they got a nickel dimer over there. Laszewski. I can hear Cal.
Yes, you can.
I'm sure he's been told to be aggressive, get after people, coaching the guys on the sideline.
Prentice Hub had 9 points in the first half. He's Notre Dame's leading scorer, averaging 22.5 per game, but they haven't needed his 22.5.
And you haven't seen Durham do much in the low posts with all perimeter guys.
Shot clock under 5. Hub fadeaway jumper. That is a tough shot. If he would have banked that, he would have won every game of horse he ever played. See Sarr up top. They got him involved early in the first half.
They got to make hay now against the man-to-man here, I think. Nice pass.
Jackson, a little extra look to Sarr.
Good start. I'll bet you a lemonade the next time Notre Dame will be in the zone at the other end.
I think it's a good point. 2-3 or 1-3-1? What do you think?
Go 1-3-1.
Laszewski, no good. He made a lot in the first half. He had 19. The ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll be Kentucky basketball.
It's a pretty constructive start. A touch inside, a nice little dive to the rim, a little kiss finish. Give Sarr some opportunities. Really knows how to play the game. Notice how he switched to that left to prevent the block. That's the play they should be running.
He tried to slam that one home. It was partially blocked. Rebound by Jackson, no good. And Durham with the rebound.
Yeah, they love that left elbow with Sarr. Everybody clears to the other side, gives the big fella an open opportunity. They got an offensive foul on the handle by Hub.
The first team foul called against Notre Dame in this half.
They're giving some opportunities to get their head going a little bit for Kentucky.
Any concern with Hub having 3 at this point? I mean, you're up by 20 points.
Well, he's been around a long time, though, don't you think?
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
A little bit of a carry.
Ball out of bounds. They say touched last by Notre Dame. Clarke trying to get to the basket.
He's very good off the bounce, that kid. I like his attempt that time. Really try a little bump by Sarr, provides an opportunity. Everybody learning to wall up so you don't get the foul. Cal was complaining they don't fight through things. This is an opportunity now.
Yeah, that could have been its entire half-court conversation.
I'll bet it was a conversation, though. When you're a little bit shattered mentally, here's your zone. 2-3, I was wrong.
Clarke open for three, and it's good. Nothing but net. Just the second three for the Wildcats in this game.
A little 2-1-2 pressure.
Durham wants it down low. He had 2 fouls in the first half. Minutes were limited.
Nice cut.
Leszewski lays it in.
Having vision and playing the passing lane. Negligent by Kentucky.
21 points now for Leszewski. 2 away from his career high. Boston tries the answer. It was an open shot.
But Sarr was loaded up in the low post, begging for the ball.
Ryan.
Another cut.
Steps. Traveling.
A much better presentation by Sarr helping out. Just a nice understanding. You can see the weak side. Inattentive. Rather late by Boston, but just better offensive maneuver.
6 turnovers for Notre Dame. Even though they're down 19, give credit to Kentucky because 6 of those 7 turnovers happened in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Correct. There you go.
And Sarr is bumped by Durham. That'll be his 3rd.
You can see the intent early here. Get a touch, get a dribble drive, get an opportunity to get the free throw line against a team that very seldom fouls, ND.
Checking up for Notre Dame is number 13, Nicola Jogo.
Well, Jogo's going to check in. Durham's going to be out with 3 fouls. So he has 3, Hub has 3. It's a little different player, though. You can't keep the big man on the floor with 3.
I wish our producer talked to us like Mike Bray does players coming out of the game with tenderness.
Sarr off the back of the rim. Tap it with the putback.
There you go. Get good shots, you got an opportunity for putbacks.
Mike Bray talked about that yesterday, and his team's up 17, so it's not a huge issue here, but he said they have to be tougher on the defensive glass. That's what cost him against Ohio State. Hub misses the pull-up jumper. Sarr with the board.
Get a good shot now.
May have gotten over the travel, but he turned the ball over.
Watch your delay 3.
Quarterback Ryan with the rebound. He's fouled. He'll go to the line.
You take a bad shot or a turnover, all of a sudden, Notre Dame not known to be explosive in the fast break area. Takes advantage. Just terrific position on the offensive end because they ran their lanes.
Ryan to the free throw line. Bill mentioned before the transfer from Stanford. He redshirted last year, which, as we alluded to, Mike Bray does like to have guys come in and redshirt, kind of gets set up with the system.
Well, he's got Trey Wirtz sitting out. He's hopefully this week NCAA makes the decision to make him eligible. Santa Clara.
They don't know if it'll be in January or it'll be almost immediate. Mintz long-range 3. A little too much.
I know he can shoot it. Maybe the most pure of shooters on Kentucky, but again, everything's going to be in the attack mode.
The ball out of bounds. Leszewski turns it over. 15:51 to play. Notre Dame still maintaining a 20-point lead. .33-33. Notre Dame is on top. Leszewski is on the doorstep of a career high. He has been the offensive force. Our AT&T 5G fast analysis.
The ability of this kid, just because he's learned how to play, gotten stronger, terrific looking stroke, prepares himself, gets available to put it on the deck. It just knows how to play. Good dive to the rim.
He comes from a basketball family. His sister Abby plays basketball at Wisconsin. 21 points, that's a season high. He had 23 last March at Pittsburgh.
Of course, that turnover could cost him his meal money. They don't turn it over. We mentioned they don't fouls. Putting a run of points and good plays is key for Kentucky. Complement a good defensive set with a good shot. Toppin on the floor as well.
I know we've kind of alluded to this. Beyond the scoring part of it, too, is that Calipari has said that he wants them to share the basketball and not just do it for themselves, but do it for their teammates.
There you go. And Sarr made that play. Vacated one box to the other. Their timing is not good when Sarr is available. That is something you're going to have to work on.
Mintz started all 35 games 2 years ago for a very talented Creighton team. Had ankle injuries last year.
Even for a patient team, that's a shot that I'm surprised. They got a double tick here. So maybe a little juice going right now. Some signs of life. Just a really nice job. Sarr locks his guy a little bit. And Mintz could really stroke the ball a little. Stephon Murray, cuff job.
And Hub with 3 personal fouls did not try to get into the lane. Here's Sarr down low, triple teams.
Yeah, nice help breaking low. A little jump stop. You mentioned they were working on it.
Toppin pull-up jumper, no good. Loose ball. It's battled for. It's out of bounds. It'll be Notre Dame basketball.
Much better set, though.
Yes.
Getting good shots.
I think the fact that they got in and went out and they drove it.
Right. Collectively looking more as a unit.
You mentioned the jump stop. That was part of the camp this week, was to do drills to teach them how to use a jump stop. Hub, length of the floor, blocked away by Sarr.
Early drag screen, get to the rim now.
Boston for 3, it's good. Brandon Boston has 11 points.
Yeah, really nice set with the ball screen dive.
This is now just a 15-point game.
We got to get it over the timeline. Tough to rush this team. That's why you got to be basic defensively now if you're Kentucky.
Yogo wanted the screen by Leshevsky. He'll do another screen for Hub. Step back 3, no good. And the ball out of bounds off the fingertips of Boston. That's just unlucky.
That would have been a big rebound. Shooting the ball from Boston. A little dribble drive. Ryan over helps. Pays the price mightily.
Boston was a preseason All-SEC selection. We mentioned the #1 point guard in 2021. The #1 guard. Here is Mintz, has the ball knocked out of bounds.
Well, that was uncharacteristic by Hubs at the other end with the giveaway. He knows it better than most. Just good hands. Mintz really, with that experience, has played a lot better the last few minutes. Here you got to feel that and get that to the left hand.
All right, so 5 turnovers now, Bill, for Notre Dame in this first half. That's a big deal if you can turn them over 5 times.
Just so sound.
Boston pulled his foot back for 3, no good. Sarr with the rebound.
He got away with one.
A little bit. Clarke from 14 doesn't get the roll. Ryan with another rebound for Notre Dame. That's number 7.
You don't convert, you got to guard. Double high, 1 rolls, 1 fills.
Goodwin, little hesitation. Shot clock's down to 5. Goodwin into the paint. Jumper is no good. Rebound by Sarr. Another chance, Bill, to cut this 15-point lead. Rims out. Jackson underneath, and he's pushed.
Leshevsky, I believe, underneath.
First foul for Leshevsky. Monday on CBS, Simone Missick is back as Judge Lola Carmichael, changing the justice system 1 case at a time. The CBS original series, All Rise. New episode Monday, 9/8 Central on CBS.
Yeah, Kentucky has to have 1 trip at a time. Get good looks.
Boston had a path at the beginning. Ball was blocked away. I think Durham got it. Boston goes up again. Doesn't get it to go. Leschewski with the board.
That's that strength he possesses right now. Rebounding hurt them against Ohio State too late, if you recall.
Second half, there were 8 offensive rebounds for Ohio State. Durham on the baseline.
Tough angle.
We've got both offenses now kind of stalling these last few minutes.
We walked.
That's not Sarr's game.
Just inopportune. Got to feel the flow on the offensive end. Basically a 4 around 1. Nice little curl. He does that beautifully. Good when that is.
Shot clock is at 5. Hubs way out front. Gets to the corner for Leschewski for 3. No good.
See, they get the time if they don't get the shot.
This has been a 15-point game for the last several trips up the floor for Kentucky.
I like Sarr to get a touch. Give it to him.
He wants it. Against Durham.
Inside out. Go the other way.
Foul's going to go against Clarke. Two fouls for Clarke. 15-point game. We've kind of been latched at this number for the last several minutes. Last time the Final Four was hosted in New Orleans, sophomore Duron Lamb had a game-high 22 points, and a young man by the name of Anthony Davis, just 6 points, but had 6 blocks and 16 rebounds. Kentucky led wire to wire, claiming their 8th NCAA basketball championship, 67-59. In fact, it's Isaiah Jackson's favorite team, he said, that Kentucky team. And by the way, the NCAA just announced that the 2022 Final Four will be in New Orleans. Obviously, this year's Final Four will be on CBS, but the 2022 Final Four will be in New Orleans. That's the last time.
And I was at the 82. Of course, Michael Jordan made that extended jumper from the foul line.
That is a beautiful logo they just released. The NCAA just released. All right, so Bill, 53-38. It's been 3.5 minutes since Kentucky scored a bucket. I mean, you can say the same for Notre Dame.
Some signs, though, for Kentucky, I think. Much sounder on the offensive end, getting ball movement, making more adjustments, being more aggressive defensively. If they're going to get better, this is the end. They have to really improve, I think. And that takes communication.
Under 11 to play here in the second half. See the scoring drop for Notre Dame. Ryan feeds it down low to Durham, who saves it.
Wow, why did he?
I was thinking the same thing. Shot clock at 5. Ryan falls down, picked up by the Wildcats. Askew will settle it down.
Well, 2-on-1, you got to get a layup out of that.
5 consecutive open trips for the Wildcats since they cut the lead to 15.
Nice job now with Sarr, and then the cut.
Clarke for the free throw line. It is good with the putback by Sarr.
Well, he got an injury, too. I think
Boston may have gotten poked in the eye.
I'll probably take a look at this. Looked like a basketball play.
I think it may have been Sarr's arm or elbow that connected with Boston.
Much better sets, though. Oh, that. Burton. You want to play with the.
I also wondered if that ball was still on the cylinder, Ref. It was falling
Good
off
point.
that replay.
If any part of it is over the cylinder, you're right.
All right, so they'll take a look at Boston. Mike Bray talking with his team. John Calipari is leaving it to Bruiser Flint, his assistant, to talk to his guys.
A little change in voices. Yeah. Bruiser out of Philly.
Well, that's a good sign. Brandon Boston got up on his own power, and now they're going to bring him back to the locker room, at least toward the vicinity of the locker room, and take a look at him. He took an elbow, an arm from his own teammate, Sarr.
I hope it's not one of those concussion protocols, too. Just inadvertent. Wow.
Yeah, a little bit of whiplash when that arm came down.
Well, hopefully he's okay.
Well, we've got the closest score since this game was 20-9, 53-40. Part of it is that Notre Dame has been scoreless for about 6 minutes.
They have struggled, but that's attributed to better defense by Kentucky. Staying at home on the shooters, knowing to be in the proper space. Boy, this guy's a lifer, though. You look at Mike Bray on that sideline. Outstanding career. Changed leagues, of course, from the Big East to the ACC.
The longest tenured men's basketball coach at Notre Dame. In his 21st season, 438 wins.
He was talking about how lonely it was down there in Lexington, the hotel, quiet.
He also was talking about how lonely it's been at practice without Digger.
Well, some things are a blessing. Richard Holm, I'm sure, watching. Amazing run as the head coach.
All right, so Notre Dame with the basketball. The lead is 13. The Irish have not had a field goal since the 16-22 mark in the second half. And again, as Bill mentioned, it's the defense. Even something like this.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep.
Denying Hubbs the ball back.
Hubbs has 9. He had 9 in the first half. He's been quiet.
They've had them working late in the shot clock. Notre Dame generally very comfortable late.
Long range three. He's got the keys to shoot whatever. Durham with the offensive board. And that ball knocked out of bounds by Askew. Or Mintz, I should say.
Really not as efficient Notre Dame on the offensive end. Really a struggle.
Now, is that because Kentucky's getting up?
I think it's better defense, obviously, and not really doing a good job late. Not running their sets.
So blows, and a foul is going to go against the Wildcats.
I believe on the cut.
You're going to get Jackson for that?
Not sure.
That's his third foul. It's just the team's fourth in the second half.
Well, there's going to be a 5-second violation.
And there it is.
Great defense again. There's that sense of urgency that Cal alluded to.
Kentucky with a chance to make this a 10-point game.
Put the pressure on the defense now. No bad, silly shots. He can shoot it.
Mintz doesn't get it to go down. And the ball out of bounds. It remains Kentucky basketball. They say that Leshevsky touched it last.
He's saying he didn't. Doesn't matter, they can't look.
Second up for Notre Dame is number 13,
See if he was right. We will never know. Back to action. Little back screen to get Sarr loaded up in the lane.
Askew for three. It's good. It's a 10-point game. It's a 10-0 run for the Wildcats.
And this puts a little stress on shot selection.
Leshevsky is going to...
I think he had the angle.
He did have the angle. Mintz is going to be called for the foul.
Not a bad effort by Mintz, though.
Yeah, he was close to being set up.
This is really good offense. Got to be honest with the low box. Maybe that will relax Askew.
That's 3 fouls on the Wildcats guard. 10-0 run, 6:29 to play.
Well, they are right up on the shooters right now. This is a little different.
Off the side of the backboard. Hub is still scoreless in the second half. Mintz heading to the rim.
What a different personality.
It's a 12-0 run for the Wildcats.
poise is necessary now if you're ND.
Ryan catch and shoot off the front of the rim. As hot as they were in the first half, that's as cold as they've been here in the second half. It's been 8 minutes since Notre Dame scored. Clarke
nice
inside.
pass.
Sarr foul. Count the bucket.
Woo. What a change in personality. Whatever Cal said was effective at halftime. They have responded. Good little pry with the bounce to dive by Sarr. Delivers big time.
And Jogo got caught behind Sarr. And Sarr now with 14, his first trip to the free throw line, and it's no good.
And Clarke with the play, too. What a nice look.
Krzyzewski pulled down that rebound. It's his 8th of the game, and now a timeout called by Mike Bray. This is a needed timeout.
Pretty good one, absolutely. Talk to your guys. Get them in that comfort zone necessary, but the Cats, they're on the prowl right now. Much more aggressive. Different look.
Well, this has been a tale of 2 different halves. I mean, take a look at the field goal alone. Just 2 field goals for Notre Dame. The last one came with 16:22 to play in the second half.
Youthful exuberance exhibiting itself. And now coming out of this timeout, can you maintain that if you're Kentucky? Keep the same idea, shot selection, try, get it to the low post, counter that. Don't settle as much, and they maybe get into your offense a little earlier. They've been stuck a few times with 5 or less seconds.
How important is it for Notre Dame to get Hub, who has just 9 points, and they all came in the first half, to get him going here?
Well, if you recall the conversation, once in a while he'll do some things, force the issue, Mike will say, instead of playing within it. I'd rather see him play within it and let it come to him.
Hub is number 3. He's got the basketball near midcourt. The team drought is over 8 minutes.
Oh, this is a little post-up they like to run for Goodwin.
Yeah, Goodwin up against Askew. It's short. Askew with the rebound. And now Kentucky, 14-0 run, trying to add to it here.
First double high. Sarr ready, but he's available, but they don't notice.
By the way, Boston headed to the locker room a few minutes ago after getting hit in the face by his teammate. He's not back yet. Sarr from 18. It's good.
Well, if you don't find me low, I'm going to relocate.
And all of a sudden, it's a 4-point game. It's a 16-0 run.
Really not running their stuff down. A lot of dribbling.
That's not his shot from way downtown. Toppin with the board.
Contested as well.
And that ball loose. Hub got a piece of it. Now he stretches his way to the basket and gets the lay-in with the left hand. First bucket of the second half for Hub.
What a struggle for ND.
I mean, that's 12 minutes without a bucket.
So they go to the 1-3-1 now, see if they can control the tempo of the game. Take away individual ability. Let them rely on jumpers.
Notre Dame had a 24-point lead at one point. Ryan knocked that one out of bounds. Well, we reached the under 8, and we have got a ball game.
Pretty impressive. Kentucky's so solid. Hang it tough.
Our Jersey Mike subs game summary. You know, you look at the Kentucky numbers. There's some impressive ones if you break down even points in the paint.
Well, they've gotten the ball into better spots, particularly the second half. I think 12 of those points, and defensively just much more aggressive, forcing Notre Dame into bad shot selection. This is a team, we know they're talented. It's all about taking good shots, the ability. I think SQ's going to find himself as the year progresses, but Mintz with a nice drive. This new dive to the rim. Sarr has really played good basketball. Solid. So make that foul line jumper, and what a welcome sight here.
Yeah, Boston is back from the locker room. He's got a Band-Aid over his eye. He has not checked back into the ball game as of yet. You mentioned Sarr. Sarr leading the way, 16 points, 7 rebounds for Kentucky.
Pretty impressive. He's their go-to guy, I think, in clutch situations.
All right, off this timeout, 12 on the shot clock for the Wildcats. Joe Lindsay blows the whistle, gets things going.
And goes zone on the out of bounds, gives an open look.
Clarke from the corner, no good, it rims out. And Durham dropped it out of bounds, but it was touched last by Jacob Toppin.
Pretty good aggressive play by Toppin. You got to chase in the zone those rebounds.
Well, give Kentucky credit. Their defense has disrupted Notre Dame in the second half.
Yeah, they sure have. Rattled them a little bit for a mature team.
Here's Hub off the high screen. Tight corner.
Ooh,
that's
double dribble. Yeah. Interesting. Good spot by the official here. He's going to make the pass, but the defense was there. Much better. Spacing defensively, being in the passing lane.
How about that story, too? Turnovers in the second half, 8 for Notre Dame. Clarke is in double digits.
Still a 1-3-1.
On the baseline for Toppin, cut off, turn around, hook shot no good.
The other way.
Yeah, he's going to be called for the foul over the back.
Happens so often too. Miss a shot, he knows he's going right to the bench. He knew the hook was ready. One solid wall up by Goodwin. We've seen him do that before.
Jacob, who was at Rhode Island last year, his brother Obi was the first-round pick of the New York Knicks.
The
awesome
savior.
Player at Dayton.
He's going to be the savior in New York. Really, they've had trouble inbound. They got a perfect trap if they want. There you go.
And now Joe Go able to break the press.
Notre Dame is usually no-go. They're never going to rush anything.
Only 3 field goals in the second half for Notre Dame. They led by 24 at one point. Ryan, Joe Go for 3, no good.
That's that favorite play of those ball screen, wing replace.
Notre Dame is now 0 for 7 from beyond the arc in the second half. And Durham with a huge board on an open miss.
Not a bad shot at all,
nope.
But nobody else on the glass. Double high.
Ryan for 3, no good again. 0 for 8 from beyond the arc. They're like Kentucky was in the first half.
All of a sudden, the magic is gone. Got to create off the bounce.
And a timeout called by John Calipari. All right, 55-49. Coach Cal, his camp seems to be working in the second half. It's the final leg of the $1 million race around the world. Find out who wins the amazing race Wednesday, 8/7 Central on CBS. Boston, who did get stitches according to the Kentucky Athletic Department, is back in. He took an arm from his teammate Sarr earlier in the second half. That's a quick stitch.
Unbelievable to have that guy's your corner man. He can hit that floater and get in the lane. Like to see him do that man-to-man out of the timeout.
They feed Sarr. He's been the leading scorer for Kentucky. Faces up, gets the bucket to go. It's a 4-point game. He has 18.
Well, I love the way he plays that low post. Turn, face, dominate.
Now Askew on Hub. It held Hub to 1 bucket in the second half.
The defense has been extraordinary.
Goodwin, Leshevsky.
Tighter the game gets, who wants to take the shot? This kid does.
Yeah, Hub lets it fly. Got it!
Unbelievable. It's early.
14 for Hub. It's 58-51.
And they go back to the 1-3-1. Not a good drive.
Yeah,
Goodness.
decision.
That's what happens too. You know, used to man-to-man, used to dominate. And Cal all the way at half court, he's going to yank somebody. All this pressure right now is going to open up opportunities.
Ball's knocked away. Goodwin.
They're a bit aggressive, but seizing the opportunity big time. Durham racks it.
Yeah, Durham with the two-handed jam on the extra pass by Cormac Ryan.
Now this defense makes you use clock.
Little kick ball.
Well, the hub of activities when Notre Dame is percolating is that southpaw hub. A little bang, and why not the look, and send it in, big fella. This year, so I went up to Army. What a thrill to be on that campus. Meet those men and women that represent our country.
And to be at Mikey Stadium and to look out at the scenery too, beautiful.
I love Clarke's comments about it too, the character. And as soon as you look here, he's starting to play big time. Give him some touches.
20 points, a season high for Sarr. 3:05 left to play in the second half. This was a 24-point game. Notre Dame was on top. And Sarr has come to life. He has 20 today. The transfer from Wake Forest. Hub to Durham.
He's got that. Whoops.
He's dribbled it off his leg and out of bounds. It's going to be Kentucky basketball.
He didn't chase after it either. You've got to know. Value that basketball.
Now we got a little pushing going on. Durham and Sarr.
Of course, they know one another from Wake Forest days, as well as Notre Dame. Here, you've got to know, well, maybe he felt it hit the foot of Sarr.
And again, nothing the officials can look at. With 2:40 to play.
Offense and Sarr. You start too soon as well. In fairness to Sarr, a lot of dribblers, they're in a hurry to use that ball screen. Let's just see if they start early here. No?
It looked like it was fairly clean.
I like that. In Kentucky's favor, I like that.
Cal was saying he never moves.
Tony Barbee making sure Cal doesn't get a tee. Boy, that was a standstill. Plenty of time, distance. That is a big turnover.
It's a huge turnover. Notre Dame has not been able to really get into its offense in the second half. And that's partly because of the Kentucky defense. It's been so much better in the second half.
This is where Cal's going to have to grow this team. Once again, nice split.
Yeah, knife right through the defense and lays it in.
Well, you got to close it. You can't let him enter.
That's 16 points for Hub. The average is 22 and a half. Boston for three. It's good. Rattles it home.
Inside out.
Yeah, to keep pace.
They had Sarr on a repost as well.
Again, just a two-possession game, and Hub dribbles it to the baseline. It's going to be Kentucky basketball.
And catching that ball so close to that baseline. I think this team can really get after you, Kentucky, if they want to. Good solid help, a double up, miscue.
What did Cal tell us yesterday? He said, you know, the way we're playing, the only way we're going to win a game is on a buzzer beater. Well, we're getting to that point.
Well, it might happen here, but in their conference are going to have a few when you get Tennessee and Alabama and others, Arkansas, another club. Tough conference.
On demand or stream anytime. All right, so this is the game reset. You know, minute 50 left. One timeout left for Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame was up 11 against Ohio State in the last ball game. In fact, they were up 44-30 with 14-17 to play against Ohio State. They were up 24 here.
And if you look at their lineup, 4 guys are over 35 minutes a game, some 37, some 38. So that is a problem come late in the games. You lose your legs, you lose your confidence, you don't cut as well, you don't protect the basketball as well. So right now it's going to be important that they step to the ball when it's their opportunity on an inbound pass and be tough with it. And of course, Kentucky just keep going to the middle, give Sarr an opportunity to inside out or repost.
Yeah, Sarr with 20 points and 7 rebounds. He's number 30, covered by Durham underneath. He'll take the inbounds.
Get right inside, big fella. Straight up now.
Mintz covered by Ryan. Shot clock down to 7. Mintz, triple team, count the bucket. How about that?
Now this kid is terrific on the offensive end. You see a glimpse of it early in the year, but he is coming from Creighton where they pass the ball, magical from the three-point line, not afraid to attack. And how about that finish? Take the hit, keep on ticking.
That's 4 fouls on Gorham, who fouled out against Ohio State. For Mintz, 6 points, and now with an opportunity to make it a one-possession game.
They gave up that baseline drive, though. That's a no-no. Puts a lot of pressure on the bigs. Of course, making the free throw, you can set up your pressure.
Mintz's first free throw of the day. He's 8 of 10 on the year.
What a great stroke, this kid.
Askew in, Boston out.
A little more pressure at the point of attack now.
See Tower walking the sidelines. Bruiser Flynn, his assistant, doing the same thing.
Having trouble again.
And Ryan has it knocked away. Jackson. The glass, it's good. Clarke is able to lay it in. It's a one-point ball game.
Well, Notre Dame really not cutting well, not passing well.
It's an 8-0 run for Kentucky, but it's been a run of the second half. They trailed it by 24 at one point.
And Notre Dame, a team that doesn't turn it over. So many miscues costing them. Again, a lot of pressure late in the shot clock now. Ball screen, you got to stay home on the wings.
1 minute.
1 minute to play. Hub to the basket, and he was just left uncontested to lay it in.
Easy at a crucial time.
Still a one-possession game with 50 seconds to play.
Play team basketball. Nice look.
Sarr double-teamed over the tip of Leshewski.
Well, they found some magic in the big fella. Unselfish. Give him the opportunity. Putting this team on his shoulder. What a comeback by Kentucky.
Well, we've had some early season drama in college basketball. How about Notre Dame had a 24-point lead in this one, Bill, and now Kentucky off this basket is down 1.
Boy, Cal at halftime just, I got these kids to guard. That's the big difference. Really sound. Their judgment on the offensive, obviously, when you've got a guy like Sarr that goes to, plays unselfishly, has a variety of releases. We haven't seen the jump hook. Terrific footwork, and this has been the difference. Pressure, full court, the ability to churn it over. Notre Dame really is generally basic with the basketball.
Notre Dame double digits in turnovers in this second half, leading it by 1 with 41.9 to play. Goodwin will inbound.
Once again, not getting free.
Gets it into Jogo.
They'll use a lot of clock. See if they give it up and get it back to Hub late.
Kentucky with 17 fouls, Notre Dame with 5.
Well, this is going to be a run-out ball screen. They didn't handle it well the last time.
Little hedge by Kentucky.
Down to 8.
Shot clock at 5.
Gonna settle.
I think Hub wants it. He wants a 3. It's short.
Buzzer.
And a shot clock violation.
Not a good trick.
No, Leshewski got the rebound, but it didn't graze the rim.
The last time out, I believe.
That's it.
For Kentucky. This has got to touch Sarr's hands. Let's face it. Somehow.
Notre Dame led it by 24. The defense by Kentucky throttled up here in the second half. It's made it a 1-point game. And now Kentucky with 11 seconds will get the basketball.
Now over dribbling costs too late. Puts pressure late in the shot clock. But as noted, it did not hit the rim. And just excellent defense and analysis. I mean, the preparation at halftime, just extraordinary, this reaction by Kentucky.
Well, Sarr leads the way with 22.7 rebounds. You know, he had 30 last year against Notre Dame, and now 22 here today. But you think with 11 seconds, he's got to touch the basketball.
At some point. I mean, a dribble drive, obviously, if you get an opportunity, he did the lane, that little jumper we know Mintz can do, Askew can do, Boston can do if he happens to be on the floor. But they've got plenty of time to push it up, get the big fella an opportunity, and even repost him if he doesn't have it. Notre Dame will probably rake down. One thing might adjust to the zone. It's a gamble because you're going to leave an open shooter, but at some point you might see that.
The last lead for Kentucky was 4-2. The last tie we had, it was 5-5. Again, they were down 24. And Coach Calipari yesterday, he was half joking, said, listen, the way our schedule is the next few games, if we're going to win on a buzzer beater. I mean, you talk about some foreshadowing.
He's got UCLA, so we'll see him next week. Of course, Louisville after that.
All right, 11.9 to play. Askew, Clarke, Mintz, Jackson, Sarr, Hub, Ryan, Jogo, Leszewski, and Goodwin.
I forgot which end they're supposed to take.
Well, they are young.
Yeah, that's true. You want to force a lot of dribbling, use a lot of clock.
Now they've got fouls to give.
Good one.
So that's 16 fouls for Notre Dame.
Good play. Used up 4 seconds.
Mike Bray want to use this final timeout?
Yeah, it looks like that. Again, you want to force the basketball inbounded backwards, contain the dribble. Again, does he gamble? That's the big thing. Start out man, back up to a 1-3-1 zone. I think you got to stay man and do a really good job on Sarr's duck in. Take that away from him. That's what they're going through right now.
64-63, 7.6 to play.
It's amazing without the crowd there too.
It is amazing. 3,075. By the way, they've just corrected it. Kentucky called the timeout. So Notre Dame has 1 timeout left. So Kentucky is done with timeouts.
Interesting to see what they come out. That's the big thing for Notre Dame. Their matchup.
They've played 7 players today. Make it 8. Because Sanders did play a little bit in the first half.
You know what, though, Tom? A lot of these kids on Kentucky, they're used to having the ball and winning the game. So it'll be interesting to see if they run exactly what Cal wants, get the ball to the right spot, and not do an individual performance.
And that's one of the things he's been leery about to start this season, is that they do things for the team and not for the individual. All right, so here we go. Off the timeout, the last one for Kentucky. Boston, Clarke, Mintz, Jackson, and Sarr on the floor for Kentucky.
You want to force the ball backwards if you're ND. Straight up man-to-man.
Yeah, Clark's going to inbound. Joe Lindsay asks if everybody is ready, and we are ready to go. The last 7.6.
Little curl.
Boston bobbled it. 2.5. Sarr from the baseline. No good, and Notre Dame hangs on. A 1-point victory after being up by 24.
And they got a great look from a gentleman that had a wonderful individual performance. And even in a loss, Kentucky's getting a lot out of this game. They paid attention, they guarded, but ND hanging on by a thread late. A little double, leaving an open shooter, and a great challenge by Durham late. Just disconcerts and Askew really right there for the follow if needed. Unfortunately for Kentucky, just a tad late. And no question about it.
Yeah, and good point about Durham coming out and challenging that shot by Sarr. Well, we weren't sure what kind of a ball game we were going to have in the second half, and it turned out to be a heck of a college basketball game. 64-63, the final score. Notre Dame has hung on to defeat Kentucky. We'll be back right after this. Notre Dame wins it 64-63. They were up 24 points at one point in this game, and Kentucky changed themselves a little bit in the second half defensively to make this a ball game. They got an open look at the end, and they couldn't connect, so Notre Dame gets out of Kentucky with a victory.
They caused so many turnovers. Kentucky really chaotic in a sense, the way they created problems for Notre Dame. A lot of dribbling late in the shot clock, forcing very difficult shots. And one thing for Kentucky, they know where to go now, and that's to Sarr down in that low box area. This kid, Olivier, is a talented performer. Give him the opportunities.
22 points, 7 rebounds for Sarr. Clarke and Boston each with 14 for Kentucky. Meanwhile, Leszewski had 21 for Notre Dame. For Bill Raftery and our entire crew, this is Tom McCarthy saying so long. Notre Dame 64, Kentucky 63. We'll send you Adam Zucker for State Farm College Football today, followed by the Army-Navy game after these messages. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports, home of the 2021 Men's National Championship.